What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel for another Breaking Bad episode. Super excited to continue on season 3. Loved the season premiere. It shocked me in a lot of ways, was not what I expected, subverted my only guesses for the beginning of this season so far, so I have no idea where it's going to go from here. I'm not even going to try to make guesses at this point because it's obviously wrong pretty much every time. But I think the two things that I'm most interested to maybe find out more about this episode are the two guys that kept popping up last episode. They never spoke a word, but were crazy scary and intimidating. Interested to see if we get more scenes with them, if they cross paths with anybody else that we recognize yet. Obviously, they just made it into Texas at the end of last episode, so I don't think anyone that we've seen are in Texas right now, so I doubt it might happen this episode. But I'm also very interested to see what Walter's trajectory now is, because he said he doesn't want to cook anymore. He's done with that life. He ended things with Gus. I'm still hesitant to believe that he's out of the picture forever. I still feel like Walter may go back to him, but we'll see. It seems like he wants to put all his focus back into his family though, even though it might be too late at this point. But I appreciate that at least he's wanted to change a little bit, although he still hasn't really admitted or acknowledged any of his mistakes. Obviously, last episode with the auditorium scene, we see that all he's doing right now is trying to justify his actions and not take any sort of personal responsibility for it. And now that Jesse's out of rehab a lot sooner than I expected personally, I'm interested to see what he does now, because I assume that he wouldn't want to get into that life again because it may have cost Jane's life in his eyes. Even though we know that's not true, it's obviously weighing him down a lot, and it's really kind of sent him into a downward spiral. So hopefully he can try and pick something up and make a few good decisions that could change his life around. But I don't know, it might be the same situation as Walter. It might be too little too late, even though it's frustratingly not even his fault. But Walter won't divulge that information to him. But I hope you guys enjoy watching along with me this episode. If by the end of the video you enjoyed my reaction to it, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. Helps the video reach a lot more people, helps the channel out. Appreciate you all, of course, who do that. And as always, my full-length reaction to this episode and all the Breaking Bad episodes are down in my Patreon link in the description below, and obviously you'll need your own copy of the show to watch along with me there, but those always go up sooner than the YouTube edits, so if you're interested in seeing them ahead of time, that's the place to do it. But I look forward to getting into this episode with you all, so let's go ahead and start episode 2. Oh no, dude, was Walter speeding? Is he gonna get pulled over? Man, this is throwing it way back, but this reminds me of the time where Walter was getting followed by a cop for a little while and the cop ended up passing him. Now it's come back full circle and the cop finally stopped him. Obviously, it's not the same cop, but same situation.
You know of Flight 515, the plane crash?
I was one of the first responders on scene that day. Regardless of how that windshield was damaged, this car is unsafe to drive in this condition. Stay in the car, please.
Dang, man, Walter's gonna get on the map. He better not do anything rash right now.
Now you're giving me a ticket? I told you that my house was in the debris field. You have the remotest inkling of what that means.
Sir.
Oh, he's channeling angry Walter right now.
Oh, you're gonna pepper spray?
You understand that?
That is just perfect. Pepper spray the man who's expressing his opinion under the First Amendment.
That was some fantastic editing right there. What the heck? What is Walter thinking? He's the last person that can afford to get arrested for anything. My man is clearly breaking down though as far as his personality. He's completely incapable of interacting with anybody who goes against him or disagrees with him at this point.
Why do we have Juarez-style action on our side of the DMZ? We're just about stopping one particular border hopper.
Yikes,
Maybe
man.
one of those extra crispies knew something he shouldn't.
Calls them extra crispies. Thank you, madman. I wonder if those people that we've been seeing in that first episode and then they're talking about right there are related to the people that put our man Turtle on a turtle last season.
What you do with the upstairs bathroom?
All redone. New appliances, all top of the line.
It's great, Dad. Come by sometime for dinner or something.
Sometime.
Dang, man, I was about to comment that this was a really nice, wholesome interaction right now, but then things went a little sour there at the end. Can't blame Jesse's dad too much because of all the issues they had before, but still, it's very sad considering his current condition and how much he's clearly trying to change.
Remember Officer Cavanaugh?
Very sorry that I lost my temper. There's no excuse for my behavior.
Yeah. Thanks, all right.
My man Walter's still a smooth talker, though, even when he has his outbursts, can get out of a situation.
She's divorcing me.
I don't know what to tell you, buddy. It is what it is.
She doesn't want me to see the kids.
She said that?
I don't think she did say that, unless I'm remembering correctly. Obviously, I'm watching this episode, having not edited the first one yet, so I don't remember if she did, but sounds a little bit like manipulation right there from Walter to try and change Hank's perspective of Skylar.
You don't write, you don't call?
Yes, dude, here we go. I'm ready for some more Saul. Definitely one of my favorites as well.
If she blabs, it'll be a disaster. For her. The kids, paging Dr. Phil, my daddy's a drug dealer, and my mommy turned him in.
His personality is so fantastic. His line delivery is amazing. I feel like he's doing like a stand-up routine every time he talks.
I've lost my family, everything that I care about.
There are other fish in the sea. You've been out of circulation for a while. I mean, you'll be just amazed at what's out there.
Man, Saul is not sympathetic at all. Shoot. I mean, I guess it does kind of make sense from his perspective because Walter was his cash cow and he wants more money. So naturally, he wants Walter to move on as quickly as possible.
I can't be the bad guy.
Okay. We'll revisit. Promise me you won't hang yourself in the closet.
It's not the time, my man. It's very interesting contrasting Walter's response saying, I can't be the bad guy, with Jesse's response last episode saying, I am the bad guy. It's a great look into their different character traits and where they're at mentally right now. Is this going to be the guy that we met at the end of season 2?
Don't tell your mom.
Hey, well, he's a dad too, at least.
It's me. We may have a wife problem. Look, I need eyes on it.
You got an address?
Shoot, man, what is Saul planning right now? Him saying we have a wife problem is so spooky. I feel like they're going to do something drastic, especially something that Walter wouldn't approve of. I love how so many characters in this are given like a duality in their morality, because right after he interacts with his daughter in a nice way, he talks to Saul on the phone about, I don't know what, maybe a hit job or something.
Dad didn't even show up till fourth period. His eyes were all red like he's been crying or something. You don't even care. I don't know what your problem is. Why you gotta be such a
Oh no, Walter Jr., don't say that. I knew it was coming as soon as he started to muster up the courage.
Sky, I know it's none of my business. Keep him well from the kids, man.
You're right, Hank. It's none of your business.
Man, that's crazy. I'm not sure Walter deserves so much effort from Skylar to protect him at this point.
Look, a guy like Walt, nice guy, decent, smart. Let's face it, underachiever, dead-end life. He acts up, steps up.
If he cheated on her, she would have told me by now. It just feels like something more.
Love the lighting in that scene, first off. Very interesting hearing Hank's perspective of Walter outside of a conversation with Walter. I feel like we haven't gotten that very often. But if Marie's suspicious and maybe gets Hank suspicious, I feel like they're for sure going to discover the issue with Walter and Hank's gonna bust him.
You know what's giving me heartburn lately? Your former partner, this guy. He walks out. You wouldn't talk to him, would you?
You want a job?
Who's got a job for me?
I do.
Oh no, is Jesse going to be the one that gets back into the game first? I guess it lines up with what he said last episode about acknowledging he's the bad guy. Maybe he is just going to buy into that life because he feels like that's the only option he has. Feels like that's who he is at this point. I'm guessing that's what he meant by that line. Hey, Walter Jr. He showed up. That's nice of him. It's kind of a double-edged sword, though, because it's nice to see them connecting, but at the same time, it's tough to see Walter Jr. latch on to the parent who's kind of in the wrong in this case. But there's no fault from his perspective because he doesn't understand what's going on fully. Oh, they've shown back up. Wait! Dude, are these the cousins that Tuco mentioned last season? I know I mentioned like an episode or two after that they never showed up and we never saw them, but are these them finally? Is that who it is? Maybe that's why I saw like the similarities in them and Tuco being the most menacing characters since then. That bell is as terrifying as ever. Is he spelling out Walter's name by chance? I didn't think he knew it if he is. Oh no, dude! Why is that bell like the most genius, suspenseful technique I've seen in a show recently?
Thought I'd, well, visit if you don't mind.
Oh, Ted's still here. I thought Ted was out of the picture.
Believe me, this is, I don't want to bring this up, but I can't sign off on these quarterlies. I'm sorry.
Is that right?
I didn't even consider that Walter's secret isn't the only thing she's protecting right now. Jeez, she has a lot on her plate right now.
I'm sorry, I know how you feel about this.
Revenue with no backup. Here, and here. I don't even know what to say.
No, Skylar's showing off the fact that she doesn't have a ring anymore. Goodness. Was that intentional or was that accidental? I don't know.
What if your kids found out?
If my kids found out?
This? What you're doing?
She's trying to do some digging so she figures out if she can tell her kids. This is going to be a big moment right here.
I'd say that whatever I did thinking of them. Trying to provide and try to take the time to understand.
That's very interesting because Ted's response is very, very similar to how Walter initially felt when he got into the meth game. So maybe that'll open Skylar's mind to Walter's perspective. I don't know.
Dad, it's your house. Uncle Hank, Aunt Marie, everybody knows that you haven't done anything wrong. Everybody is on your side.
Ooh, that's a risky line right there. That could feed to Walter's ego. He might use that to his advantage.
Saul Goodman, nice to meet you.
You're not that lawyer on late night television, are you?
Better call Saul. I get it all the time.
So Jesse set him up with his parents. Wait, is Jesse going to blackmail his parents or something because he didn't have the good interaction last time and they kind of kicked him out?
This individual wants to buy your house today for cash.
Cash?
In fact, the money is already burning a hole in my client's account.
Jesse's going to buy the house. We've come full circle. This is amazing.
I suppose there's always a little wiggle room.
Wiggle us on down to 400 and you got yourselves a deal.
My man's half in the price. What the heck? Jesse's bold as heck, man.
Come on, hon.
I don't know. I just thought some allowance was in order once I heard about the meth lab. The one that used to be in the basement could start some criminal proceedings. But I don't think any of us want that. How about a counselor? Do you concur?
Man, when Saul is doing his work, he is so good, man. He just absolutely decimates anyone he comes into contact with. And I guess I was kind of right that Jesse was going to blackmail his parents. It just wasn't how I thought. It was just to lower the price a bunch.
Can't we at least just sit down and eat a piece of pizza together?
We have discussed everything we need to discuss.
Got dipping sticks.
He can't refuse the dipping sticks. He's got a point. I had a feeling that despite all Walter's efforts, he would not be able to repair that relationship. Yo, he made it onto the roof. Dang. How many times did he have to do that before he got it right? That was excellent.
Accept the situation and keep your distance. If you can't manage that, I will get a restraining order.
Oh, ouch. That startled me as well. Shoot, man, Skylar's taking some drastic measures.
Get your restraining order right here. Restrain this.
My man's taking after Jesse with the comebacks.
God, this is all we need.
Oh, wow. This is going to be Jesse's ultimate mic drop moment. I'm ready for this.
Jesse, the house has been sold. The new owners are expected at any moment. Where do you think you're going?
Bought the place.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I love that he rolls in there so nonchalantly with them knowing that he just dropped $400K in cash for the property and finessed them for the price. Oh, dude, he's putting surveillance, heavy duty, all around the place. Are they trying to, like, find some dirt or something that they can get on Skylar to, like, push her back to Walt? Or I can't think of much else that they would accomplish by surveillance tactics. The cinematography of this season has been really, really good. I feel like they've stepped it up in quality. Just little things like the depth of field and the various lighting. I feel like there's been a lot of small changes that have improved it. No way, dude. They just showed up to his house. Oh, I was wrong that we were going to have to wait an entire season to see them interact with anybody we knew. And Walter is in the most compromising position, of course, to increase the stress level. My goodness. Is this episode directed by Alfred Hitchcock or what?
There's something you should know about. Hold on.
It's this guy. I was not expecting to see him again. Wow, so I did not realize that Saul's various connections also had connections with each other. Bro, what a frame. These are the most terrifying mute characters I've ever seen. Bro, no way. Gus is about to save his life.
You can't remember.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's masterful camera work. Just brilliant, brilliant filmmaking right here. Oh, dude, that was so good, man. That was an amazing finish to the episode. Shoot, man, Walter is one lucky dude. Not only to have Saul's one guy there on the property to kind of see what was going on, but also that Gus is connected to those guys too. Now, I don't know if I'm interpreting correctly the meaning of that last scene and interaction between Gus and those two menacing guys, just the text message, but to me that tells me that as terrifying and as powerful as those two guys seem to be, that even Gus is over them. That makes me even more afraid of Gus now, because I thought those two guys were like the top of the food chain, that these guys were the ones you don't want to mess with at all. But if Gus texts them to meet and they drop everything to go there right then, that tells me that Gus is over them and that they kind of follow him and are a little bit subservient to his commands, because they traveled all that way to find Walter and I assume to kill him, and they just drop everything from a text from Gus. That's pretty telling evidence that Gus is way more of a big bad boss than I had considered or gave him credit for before, but that was such a well done scene. The cinematography and the shots were all so good, especially the suspense of Walter opening that door and not seeing them there anymore. So far, the first 2 episodes of this season have been really high stress, and there's been a lot of tense moments. I feel like the way this show is moving, that we're going to get a lot more of those, and the stress levels are just going to continue to go through the roof, which I love as a viewer. My heart doesn't love so much. Really great episode, a lot of fantastic moments. I loved the moment with Jesse as well. He was in this episode a lot. He had kind of his big triumphant moment there of purchasing his house. It's fascinating to watch him start in that house, be gone from it, and go through all this trouble, and now to come all the way back and now actually own the house. That's a pretty great moment for his character. I loved, of course, that we got some more Saul in this episode. He's such a great character, so entertaining every scene that he's in. Got to see him interact with Jesse and Walter in this episode, so just like old times, but hope that I continue to see him more because he's such an interesting character as well, because of all the information that he knows and all his connections and involvements with all these different characters. And with the surveillance setup that he ordered, I'm very interested to see what that's going to develop into, because I suggested in the episode that it could be some like sort of blackmail that they're trying to get on Skylar to push her back into a relationship with Walter, so that he feels more comfortable getting back into the cooking game. I'm not 100% sure. My guesses with the show are usually off though, so I'm ready to be surprised on whatever it's going to lead to. But Skylar's sure dealing with a whole lot this episode though, beyond now being surveilled, because she's hiding so many secrets from everybody, and she's dealing with the consequences of doing so, with Walter Jr. being upset at her, and with maybe Hank and Marie starting to be a little bit more suspicious and upset at her. And so there's a lot of drama with her situation. And jumping back to the 2 guys who were about to kill Walter that left, I wonder how much we're going to see them now, because I assume they're only momentarily deterred from attacking Walter, because I assume Gus wouldn't divulge that sort of information to them. He might try and use it as a cover just to free up Walter momentarily, but it shows a lot of respect that he has for Walter in protecting him in that circumstance. So Walter's definitely got a few good friends, that's for sure, but I wonder if those guys, as soon as they meet up with Gus and do whatever there, if they're just going to get back on his trail and try and kill him again. Hopefully not, because at the time Walter was the only one there, but if they show up and Skylar or Walter Jr. are there, then their lives would definitely be in jeopardy as well. But anyway, a ton of thought-provoking things from this episode and a lot to think about. Can't wait to go through the edit and look at things in more detail. But if you guys enjoyed watching my reaction to this episode, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. That helps the video as always to reach more people, helps the channel out. Appreciate you guys who do that. And as always, if you'd like to check out those full-length reactions, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find all my full-length reactions from the show, and you'll need your own copy of the show to watch along with me, of course. But I look forward to seeing you all for episode 3, and until then, peace.